Hey everyone, probably a little bit of a longer video today. I'm going to give an overview of the new product, the Invert, or Invert Marksman more specifically. So first of all, why do the Invert basically? So we've got the Signature series, this is a Signature Marksman with the adjustable cheek weld, tube on the bottom, the slip-in cups. This is still going to probably be our headline product. It'll probably sell the most still. Really popular, really light, really quick. However, there are some games in which having the tube on top does help, and we do have a tube on top design for the Index, so the Index Marksman, which has the tube on top because you cannot do a slip-in cup because of the ring, and the tube on top works well. This is my actual gun stock I use daily. It's worked really well. That's the Index V3. So the Index V3 core, which is this, it's been updated. So it's sort of partially a product update. This is going to be, the Index is going to be part of the Invert product line, and it'll have a 3.5, or it'll be an updated core, in which basically the core has its own specific tube lengths now, to give it a bit more length out the front to get on a bit easier at the front, and it also has a stiffener in this location which just removes some of the flex which was present in here. It's now super solid. So that's sort of a bit of a sidetrack. That's where this sort of core came from, and then there was a desire to be able to mount Quest controllers to this, with the tube on top. That desire mainly came about because of Veil. So Veil has quite strict magazine insertion rules in that if you have a tube on the bottom type stock, this tube here, when you're trying to reload, can get in the way. So if the tube is instead on top, you've got that clear space to bring your magazine in. Quite nice, like that. So yeah, that's a bit of background. In terms of the stock itself, I've got one controller assembled. I'll assemble the other one right now live. Oh, not live, but on camera. So that's one controller. I'll assemble the other, and then we can show the whole stock. So you've got a normal right-hand controller. I'm going to take the battery cover off, because what this does is it replaces the battery cover. So what you've got here is basically the main part of this. It replaces the battery cover. You can see it there on this. And it does the interface onto the gun stock. It's got that standard, what used to be the Index Marksman, now Invert Marksman interface. In terms of assembly, what you can do and what you've seen on this one is these hand cover things, they don't come with it. There's multiple ones you can use. This one here is the Pro True version. I've forgotten what they call it, Pro Straps or something probably. I've also used the AMVR ones, lots of things, but what it does come with, and I will assemble it with it, are these two flex pieces. So basically they create little loops for you to then put a strap between. So I'm going to insert, one has to go into the bottom of the controller, like that, into that position, and then the other one goes into, there's a little slot designated here. You can do it with these in there with or without them there. You can just have them out if you're not using them, and that will sit like that. Now that those are in there, you have to put them in first before putting this on. You can now line your battery up, and just clicks on, replace, similar way to the battery housing cover. And then there's, to just give it a bit more stability, you see this hole up here? There's this feature here, which has a little lip on it. That little lip aligns with the edge of the cup. I will bring this back up to the camera. So I'm now screwing through there. So as you can see, just screwing into that, and that's now secure on there. As you can see, there's a hole, so you can still access the battery, get it in and out. So there's this little cover with which has a little soft. Normally this would be the same color as this. I've just done it with a black one I had lying around just so you can see where it goes. There's the difference. And that's your controller assembled. So if you need to change batteries, you can more easily. So that's basically the controller assembled. So this is the gun stock. Pretty simple. So what it does have is it has multiple holes along the bottom, so you can adjust the positions of your hands by changing where this taper lock interface is. It is just a little locking interface, so to reload or check tablet or whatever you're needing to do, you come in and do a bolt in. To reload, front hand off obviously, and pretty quick. You'll see some gameplay videos at the end of this. It has the Marksman end. I will probably do a signature end or CQB end. I don't know what we're going to call it, but it's not signature series, but the the end without the adjustable cheek weld. But it's got the full adjustment range. Easy to do. One hand lock. Nice and simple. That's pretty much it. One thing to note, as I sort of said earlier, this is going to be exactly the same core for the index as well. So it will now just be under the same product. They'll be called the Invert. There'll be a BowkVR Invert page, and you can select either Quest 2 controllers or index controllers, and maybe future controllers coming up, which may or may not be out by the time you're looking at this video. So yeah, index positioning, Quest positioning. In terms of how it lines up compared to the signature, if I can get my hand out of there, it's stuck on the strap. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but lines up, very similar positioning. They're designed to have a similar sort of feel on location. Again, you can adjust locations as required. It's got a sling mount here. It comes with an extra one. You could locate somewhere down here if you wanted to. It has that side-to-side adjustment of the cheek weld, so for different cheek shapes and all that sort of stuff, you can line that up with the camera. You can adjust the cheek weld side to side as well to fine adjust, and then lock that out, as well as the up and down. So that's the product. We'll probably jump into some gameplay type stuff. Okay, first game is Veil. I'm going to really quickly run through the guns here because I've got other games I want to go to. I'll basically show all the guns, talk about some of the benefits of this gun stock as we go along. First things first, pistols. Just want to show that pistols are usable because some gun stocks, things can get in the way if you have stuff attached to your controllers. Basically, you can double hand grip. Oh, you got to be more accurate with the insertion. You can insert the magazine. Does my failing. So Veil is very strict with, I'm just getting back into the stock here. Veil is very strict with the magazine insertion, so that's where the tube on the bottom can be a problem with some gun stocks. So you got all this free zone. There's no tube there. The tube's up here. Hopefully that's coming through in the mic. So you got all this room to insert and come up. Because this is a Marksman type gun stock, it's got the adjustable cheek weld. Get on the cocking lever fine. Yeah. Next weapon, some form of 9mm gun, similar sort of cheek weld, maybe slightly lower, or just down slightly. Cool. Check the reload. The cocking lever is both sides. Easy. Vector quite low side of bore, so I'm going to have to drop the cheek weld down to the bottom. And you're on it. Some gun stocks will have problems with this. This reflex sight is the lowest of the ones on this. Even the iron sights on this is slightly higher. So, yep, fine. This is one where I had a user report with the signature tube on bottom type gun stock. Having more troubles getting it in, probably because the magazine's a bit shorter. You're actually having to get right up in there. Yep, no problems on this. Slightly high cheek weld, adjust up, and back on, cool. Easy. No occlusion problems here. Tracking's fine, just wanted to show that with the power scope. easy. No problems with insertion. Cool. Same sort of weapon.
Come here.
There it is. This one you have to hold it down more, don't you? Get over here. Use the force. Yeah. That's the quick Vale overview. Highlights of this gun stock specific to Vale, with that magazine angle needing to be more accurate on Vale. You've got that clearance. And then yeah, having the adjustable cheek weld for a game like Vale which doesn't have gun stock calibration. If you do want to have a good cheek weld in each gun, you do need to have an adjustable cheek weld. Having that direct and quick adjustment of the cheek weld is nice. Yeah, that's Vale. Alrighty then, Contractors. Unlike Vale, there's a lot more leniency on the magazine insertion, so you can have a tube on the bottom type gun stock more easily, but still using the invert here. Tube's still up here. Yeah, just wanted to show that it all works and that's fine. Yeah. So shoots fine. The other thing to note with Contractors is it does have a gun stock calibration, so you can set it so you've got a fixed cheek weld, which works for every single gun. However, I quite like not doing that personally because I like each gun to feel a little bit different. So if I'm running, for example, a FAMAS, which is notorious for having high heart rate of war. Yep, save. I'm not sure if this gun is actually used in this game, but if I have a normal cheek weld position, I could adjust my gun to line up with that. Yeah, cool, thanks Quest. But instead I'm going to adjust my cheek weld up to it so it feels more like I'm actually using a FAMAS because it does have this really high sight over the bore. So yeah, that's how I run it. And you do have that adjustable cheek weld. The other side to note, I want to quickly show is that I've just adjusted my cheek weld back down. We've got good tracking, so if I've just quickly lined those up real world, yep, cool, it lines up. So yeah, it tracks fine. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I suppose I better show Onward as well. This gun stock works for Onward. Long story short, it's the game I play the most, so it's, you know, one of the ones I primarily design around. Magazine insertion's fine. Talking's fine. Go try something else. Sniping? What's sniping like? So different cheek weld. Lucky you've got that Marksman adjustable cheek weld, or you know it does have gun stock calibration. You can use that. The calibration's not as good as Onward. As but yeah, it does work. So that's fine. What else to show? Chuck a little schlap in there. Little schlap. Then I can get the MP5, which they've ruined the positioning on. I have much sadness about this. MP5 used to line up so well with my other guns, but now look how high that cheek weld is. It's one of those ones you pretty much have to calibrate. If I go right up, I can get on it. But yeah. Cool. You can do that fine. It is what it is. Oh. Look at that offset of this side. It's not even bullet drop. Anyways, it's not about MP5. It's not about the MP5. It's about the stock. Stock works well with Onward. Cool. While I'm here, a little trick. I'm not going to show how to throw a nade because I don't normally play on Oculus, but in terms of a trick when using a stock and a grenade, keep one hand in the stock. Ideally you want to keep one hand in the stock, whatever stock you're using, just because it gives you a good reference point. Take your rear hand out, get your nade, bring it forward to your front hand, still in the stock, and then do whatever your thing, and then chuck it. Front hand in the stock at all times, easy to bring your rear hand back in. Yeah, the only time I ever take both hands out is when I'm trying to send the objective. And even then, some people leave it in. The rest of the time I leave one hand in just because it makes it, you don't end up with this thing dangling down there where you could swing out of the way. That's Onward.